Okay, so now let's get into some image generation. And I'm in Zombie Wasteland here. And I wanted to generate some images. So I'm going to go to another tab that I've got open. I've just been describing physically the whalers. So I was trying to get an image of a whaler, and it kept giving me like this skeleton looking thing that looks like it's from some sort of like a Halloween advertisement. We could do the same thing for a different class, but what I've asked it here inside of this chat is to visually describe the whalers and their physical appearance. And so here we go. We've got their physical appearance, right? And then I just added that to lore. And now when I go over to generate a portrait of a whaler, it gives me something that's way more what I was looking for rather than like way more what I was expecting. And that's the thing, is like, as long as in my lore I've got the physical appearance of something, I can then go forth and generate it just by referencing that name. So this system is looking up through all the lore connected to my world, Zombie Wasteland, and it's saying, okay, what are the relevant things for my query, for my prompt, and then it shows up with appearance based stuff. So how can we test for that? Well, if we go over here and look in lore, we can do a search. And here we go. A portrait of a whaler. So this lore search searches over all the lore in the world, and it will come back with lore which is most related first. And this is what the LoreKeeper actually sees when it's looking through your lore based off of what your prompt is. So I just gave it the exact prompt that I put, and check that out. The first thing is just showing us exactly what we need. This is just it shows up twice because one of them is in a conversation and the other one is in lore. This also handles all of your conversations. So this would be the conversational part, the chunk of conversation, which includes that, and then the part that I added to lore, which is just the LoreKeeper's response. And then it just gets into like less and less related items. So given that, that's exactly what we were looking for. Let's try and do it with something else. Yeah, I'll save this one. So what we can do is, let's look for another zombie. Another zombie type in my horde. So we've got shamblers, whalers, that's the common scourge. So let's try and do something like the behemoths, right? Let's try and use the behemoth. Because those have like quite an interesting thing. Well, we could also do spitters, because this word is like definitely not going to show up in image generation memory as some sort of a zombie, right? Now I can just run this, like I can just try to get a portrait of a spitter. And the thing that's going to come up is obviously what we've already generated, or sorry, what we've already, just this part. So this is the only thing. There's no physical description of them really. So if we go back over here and we look, okay, that's what they're going to look like. Well, at least it's a zombie, right? Let's try to regenerate this, but after we ask the LoreKeeper to give me a physical description. So first I'm going to ask for a 5e character sheet. For spitters. Okay. Now obviously what it's going to do is it's going to be looking up for the relevance and everything like that, and it figures out what we're talking about. And yeah, it seems to be doing all right, has all this information for us. Great. Saving throws, traits, and actions. We'll add that to our The Horde lore. And now I'm going to ask it the same way as before. Visually. The physical appearance of spitters. Bloated and distorted body, pustules and sores, discolored skin, elongated jaw, bulging eyes, tattered clothing, clawed hands, acid burns, unstable gait. Okay, so adding this. Now I'm going back to image generation, and let's regenerate. So now that I have that in lore, a portrait of a spitter should be something totally different. Wow, that is that kind of looks like it looks like some sort of a weird character from like this cartoon. I forget what it was, but man, that is a nasty mouth. Let's make a different one. I mean, geez, that one is horrifying enough. But let's see. Let's just sort of see what it comes up with. Yeah, green, acid. So there we go. Let's just come up with one more, and then I'll save it. Oh, that guy looks... Well, he doesn't have a discolored skin. All right, let's go one more. That one looks like some sort of an 80s... an 80s rock star mixed with a zombie. Some sort of Michael Jackson vibes going on. Alright, that one's not bad. Acid burns on the face. But let's go... I liked the green ones, so let's keep going. Currently there's no way to access the buffer of your images of like what you've already generated inside the same generation. So quite possibly we'll do something where we like add that down here somewhere or on the side. Let's so pustules and sores, discolored skin, elongated jaw, bulging eyes, tattered clothing, acid burns. So I could go even further and say, like, what do... Write a short paragraph about visualizing a portrait of a spitter, paying attention to the physical aspects of the head and face. Okay, let's see if we can get it to stop giving me those pointy ears. Sickly green, mottled with dark patches of necrotic tissue, covered in large, oozing pustules that occasionally burst. Okay, add to lore. So notice that it said portrait, visually as a portrait of a spitter. So like literally I used the word portrait there, which is going to make it way more, it's going to make it bring that up as way more relevant. If I look it up now, there we go, portrait of a spitter. So now if I do this, we should get something green with pustules or something. I don't know how well this model can do pustules. We'll see. So I'm not trying to cut this video on any time. This is how long it actually takes to generate an image. Ooh, yeah, that's more like it. I don't like the nose though. Now, quite possibly in a future version of this, we might have some image editing, retouching stuff with AI, but that's going to be like months down the line. Okay. I mean, this one is good enough, I guess. This guy got a bullet lodged in his skull. Must have been how he died. Got a hard head, this guy. Let's do that one. So we're saving this one. Now let's try to do like an action image. Something like a spitter chasing a surviving human. So in the same way, what I can do is I can, by adding to lore, yeah, that guy looks crazy. Looks like he's coming after you, man, with his knee popping out of his socket. That guy can run. And he's got clawed hands, but they're like, wow. Maybe it mixed the survivor idea with the spitter. Maybe it's a spitter that was a survivor at one point, but I'll take it. I like this one. Saving that. So yeah, I mean, there's gonna be all kinds of spitters, and probably not all of them will have super green skin, maybe, right? So there's some of our zombies, and notice that in my prompts, I'm not even using any descriptive things that tell LoreKeeper, what should be in the image. A spitter is not going to be something that shows up as a zombie or whatever, and maybe a whaler might not also be something that shows up as some sort of a zombie. Notice the vocal cords and stuff still intact there. And yeah, so that's that. There's more to come on the image stuff, so stay tuned.